Okay, well, Shahar, Ali, I'm really excited that you guys came in and we're able to actually sit down and take you guys through this process. I know in talking to you guys a little bit, you guys are going to be buying your first home and it's a very exciting time. And for you, Ali, you're planning, and so we're trying to get this in so we can be in the house, hopefully no later than April, so that the baby's due when? June, so that you have a little time to make sure the house is all set up. We don't want Ollie moving into the house 9 months pregnant because she's gonna be mad at both of us, correct?
Yes.
We don't want that, so we gotta make this thing work and do it by April, okay? So I put together this presentation to really help you guys through the process. And so some things I can go into more detail for you, and some things I can go a little faster depending on what you guys know. But I really wanna explain to you the market and what's happening right now so we can really make this process as easy as possible, okay? So when we start, the first thing, it says, our buyer presentation, what we do to help you win. Because as you know, it's a pretty tight market right now. Have you guys been looking online?
Yes.
And I know one of your concerns were, are you gonna be able to find some? There's just not a lot of homes.
Yeah. Not a lot between 6 and 7.
Right, and so what happens is, anything at 6 to 7 comes on the market and is usually gone in like a week. And we're gonna talk about that. So our job as your agents is to help you win, to get a deal. It's sort of a battle out there right now, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And we gotta really work hard and be on the same page to make this happen. And that's why we say, we're here to help you win, because we realize it's all of us working together, okay?
Yes.
So we have a great group of people that are part of our team, because one person can't do it all, okay? So, yes, it is the Mark Moskowitz team. And so my job is sort of guide everyone and walk you through the process. And so you're gonna be working with our great specialist, Denise over here, who's gonna be showing you around and taking you out in the process. And that's what we all do. We all specialize in different aspects of the business. So I'm more doing the lead generating, trying to find the listings for us. I'm here to answer all your questions, but we have a buyer specialist in each area. And so since you guys want to be down in the Oxnard area, we have our resident expert that lives in Oxnard, knows the area really well, and is going to really help you through the process. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be involved. I'm going to be very actively involved. And then you're going to work with our absolutely fantastic manager of our team. That's so funny. She has the same name as you.
She looks a lot like you.
I read some great reviews about her.
Yes, I mean, usually the reviews are better. But like when we're out here with you guys, she's actually handling all the deals, working with the lender, working with you on the paperwork and everything else.
Okay.
So many times it's easier to get a hold of her if we're in the field. But only thing I caution when you talk to Ollie, if you want to talk to us, please let us know, because she'll do such a great job, and then when I follow up, I don't know that you guys want me to call. I'm always there for you also, so that's important to know, okay? And so, like we said, we're gonna create a strategy for your success. That's what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna be asking you questions so that we can create this plan so that we can get you into that home really by April, and so you guys can get the baby's room all set up and be all ready. Okay, so why work with us, okay? Because again, we put you guys first. That's what's really important. This really is about you, and so I wanna make sure that we understand your concerns, what you guys are looking for, and then I'm gonna help you from our knowledge, help you find the right property, okay? And so it's gonna be a little give and take as we go through the process and find out what's important. We're gonna help you figure out what's important to you based on what you guys can afford and the neighborhood you wanna be in. And then, like we said, we're gonna work with the specialist, and you're gonna be working with Denise because that's where she lives. She's this expert in Oxnard, okay? And what's great is we are a top producing team, and in fact our team, we just had the awards last week, and we were the top team for listings sold. We were the second largest team for buyers. The only reason we came in second, the other team has 25 people, and there's only 6 of us. So we just we just really make sure you have a really quality agent to work with. We don't hire anybody, and that's why Denise is on our team and the rest of the people on our team, okay? And what's exciting is Keller Williams is the largest company in Ventura County, and more importantly, I don't know if you just saw the announcement, they've been making it this week, we are the top company for real estate company worldwide for the number of agents, also for volume and the number of homes sold. So we just surpassed all the other companies, and so that you'll be seeing some advertising on that as we move forward. Okay.
Good to know.
So, we're gonna look at sort of what we call your dream sheet. And what we're looking here is what you guys are looking for. I'm gonna be asking some questions here so we can figure out what you guys really want and what's important to you. And unfortunately, prices in California are pretty high, right?
Yes.
And like you said, there's not a lot in the 600 to 700 range. So we're gonna have to figure out what's really important to you, and we're gonna have to make some choices, and we're gonna help you make the right choice, okay? So it says, we listen, we advise, then we go to work for you. And so if we turn to the next page, this is where the fun part begins. So obviously you guys have been talking, and so for you guys, what are the 3 most important things that you must have in a new home? And one thing I always find funny, I'm gonna ask you first, Shahar, and then we're gonna ask Ollie, because that's what we're gonna go for. Because the husband has one idea, and then the wife will tell us what we're really going for.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What do you think you need to have?
Again, I think at least a 3-bedroom house. That's kind of the minimum.
Okay,
Because if we're moving now, we don't want to move again too soon.
okay,
So for now, it's going to be one an office, a baby room, and our bedroom, our master.
okay. Is that one of your priorities, Ollie?
Mine must have was 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you would like to maybe a little bit bigger?
Like a guest room, so I can have a guest room if people stay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, like your mother when she wants to come
Yeah,
over?
exactly.
Okay. So Shahar will talk about that now. Take over.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the office could also be a guest room, but I do understand
Yeah.
how we want to at least have something for a
Yeah.
while.
Okay,
And then outdoor space, big yard.
Mhm.
If the baby coming, they're going to be running around a lot. And an outdoor space, at least, what would you say, how big of an outdoor space?
7,000 square foot
Oh, yeah.
lot, probably.
okay. It's funny, because I know we get some clients and they're coming from like the Midwest, and they say, well, I need a big yard. It's like, they want an acre or 2, and it's like, wait, you don't get
No,
that
no.
here. And coming from California,
Yeah.
7,000, most places think that's a small yard, but here just to have any space
Mm-hmm.
is great. So that will be, we'll note that here. Excellent. What else do you think?
I think the last thing would be on one floor. Going up and down with the baby and carrying up and down. I think we would love to be on one floor.
Okay.
So, a ranch style kind of
Okay.
one floor house.
Now, again, in the price point, as you're gonna see, depending on whether we go for newer or older, if we go for slightly older houses, there's more ranches. If we go for newer homes, because the land was so valuable, they are usually a little bit tighter. They're almost all 2 stories, and they have a little smaller lot. And that's what we're gonna have to look at, and we'll show you both. And then you guys are gonna have to decide, do I want new with, usually the kitchens and bathrooms are a little bit bigger in the newer stuff. However, they are 2 stories and you have a smaller lot, and that's where we're gonna have to decide what's really important. We don't have to decide that right now, but those are some things to look at.
There's
So
also
Lee-
the earthquake, I think, 2 floors, we're in
But
California.
again, if it's newer, it doesn't really
Oh, that's
matter,
right. It was-
though they've been built to a higher earthquake codes. So
Oh, okay.
that's also keep
It's
in
good to
mind.
know, yeah.
So Ollie, on other things that you would want, what do you think that would be?
I would absolutely would love a pool.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, could it be a community pool?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because some of the, especially down where you guys are, if we get some of the newer stuff, they did, because they didn't give you as much land, they actually put in community pools, so that could be an option. Okay, what else?
I would like a laundry room in the house. I don't want to have to go to the garage to do
Okay.
it.
And again, if we do newer houses, they're usually inside.
Mhm.
Some of the 1-story ranch houses might be in the garage. And again, as we're looking at different things, what's more important, the
Right.
1-story, the garage, that's where we're gonna have some give and take. And it's gonna really be, once we get out there, what really is important. You're gonna see a house and say, hey, do you know what? The laundry's in the garage, but my God, the kitchen, the backyard is so fantastic, great. Or you're gonna say, oh my gosh, this house has, this master bathroom and bedroom is unbelievable, but it is a 2-story, okay? So we'll look at that a little bit later, okay? Now, what cities besides Oxnard and Camarillo are you guys considering?
Newbury Park.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, great, so we'll put that down.
Ventura, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Would you guys even go out to Ventura?
Yeah, it depends where.
Okay,
Yeah, there's certain areas I'm excited about.
okay, and we'll look at that to see which of those areas gives us the
Yeah.
flexibility of what we want. Now, did you have any main neighborhoods that you really wanted?
In Oxnard, I'd either like to be by the beach or River Ridge.
Okay, over in River Ridge. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, the beach though, I think would be nice if we
But
can.
again, it's gonna be more expensive, and so now, we may not even get laundry at the beach for the price you guys want.
Right.
And we're for sure not getting 4 bedrooms. We might only be able to get you 2 bedrooms,
Right.
but I get you at the beach.
Mhm.
So the question is, do we want small, but these are some of the choices we gotta start considering as we look at different areas. I'm just proposing this, so that we're starting to get on the same page, and you'll see, buying real estate in California is about trade-offs. And so clients come in and say, I want all this, and then we gotta deal with the reality of what we can afford. And then we start looking at different choices, and then you start saying, hey, yes, it was great when before we had the kid to be at the beach, and we could live with 2 bedrooms. We could not have laundry, no big deal. But now having a baby and the dirty diapers and dirty clothes and stuff, having to go somewhere else is gonna be a problem.
Right.
So some of our priorities change as we go from one life stage to another. So we'll take that into consideration. Okay. Now, in the home, we said, so we do know that we want at least 3. If we could get 4, that would be a real
Right.
plus. We would want at least 2 bathrooms because, again, like you said, the baby's going to have one, and if we're going to have guests, we're not all sharing one bathroom. So that's important. 1 story would be great,
Correct, yeah.
but we would consider 2
Right.
stories if that was possible. Okay. We definitely want a single family home. Now, would you consider a larger townhome or with a patio if it had community pool and other amenities?
No, we're in a townhome now, so we really
Yeah.
want a single family home.
Okay, so you're renting the townhome right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
because you guys are first time home buyer, okay.
Oh.
Right.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so you guys are renting, but it's good. It's good that you're in a townhome, you know what you like or don't like about that. So
Yeah.
that's perfect to know. Now, the next thing is, it's always important, how much work are you guys able to do? Do you want something that's, hey Mark, just show me the best thing that I can move in with my suitcase and toothbrush tomorrow? Or hey, if I have to paint it, put some carpet in, that's great. Or hey, Shahar's so handy, you give us anything and he'll go and re-drywall it and take out a project. What do you think, Shahar? What do you think Shahar is on helping you out in this?
I mean, I think the most you can do is maybe some paint, but as far as like redoing a kitchen, I wouldn't really want to do that.
Especially being-
Yeah, floors and paint would be okay.
Okay, do you agree with that, Shahar?
I do agree, however, I wouldn't want us to cut off anything that needs more work, because this is a long-term thing. So
Mhm.
although, you know, if it's not move-in ready, we can live, if it's livable, if it's something that we can at least have everything we need, we can do the work later on.
Right.
Okay, but it sounds like we don't want a real project, because you
No.
gotta be in.
Yes, with the
And
baby.
otherwise, she's gonna be in the hotel and you're gonna be in the house working,
No.
and we don't want that happening, Shahar.
No, no.
Okay, so,
Not at all.
trust me, having 3 kids, let's make sure we get not too much work, a little bit of work, so we can get it painted, cleaned up, and in time for the baby. Perfect, okay. Now, we said a pool would be nice, but it could also be a community, so that's good to know. We talked about the yard, a yard, not huge yard, but something that definitely that the baby could play in down the road. You could have a barbecue and things like that. That's great. Now, price range, what were you thinking of price range?
6 to 7.
Okay.
6 to 7, closer to 6, so it will leave us enough to do the work.
Okay. Again, if we're really closer to 6, as you're gonna find, it's gonna be more of a fixer. It's gonna need a lot more, and it's not, and it may not, it for sure is not gonna have laundry in the house, and they're gonna have, the master bathroom isn't gonna be as nice. As you're gonna see as we start to get into the 657 range, you're gonna get newer things where the master bathroom is a lot better, you're gonna have a little more space. So you guys, it's one of the things you guys are gonna have to discuss a little bit more about, and you'll do that as I show you some things, okay? Or as Denise shows you some things, you'll have a better feel for that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And now down payment, how much were you guys looking to put down?
20%.
Yeah, I think that's about what we have. We have up to say 150, stuff like that.
Okay.
We can put down. We can stretch it.
Is
up.
that all in the bank, or is part of that in stocks and
It's gonna be a little bit of a friend, family that are gonna, we're counting on also, and,
Okay, so part of it will be a gift. So again, not a problem. We just have to get that documentation up front so that when we go in and we make the offer, we can show, because they're gonna ask for the source of the income, and we're gonna have to show them bank statements. So if we have the gift letter and showing that we have X amount of money coming from the parents and they have the money and what you guys have, that's great. Now, if it was the stocks, we can show that the stock account that the money's coming from plus the cash in the bank. They don't expect you to have it all sitting in the bank, but we just gotta be able to show that. So I wanna make sure we do that all up front as we're working so we can make the strongest offer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great. Now, have you guys actually sat down and talked to a lender yet?
Not yet.
Great. I'm gonna really recommend that you talk to our guy Scott. He's a direct lender, and it's because he's been in this area so well or so long, people really know him. So when we have a pre-qual from him, it really carries a lot of weight. Oh, it's Scott Gilman and Homebridge. He's really good, and they know that the deal will close, and it makes it as if we're almost like cash buyer. And so it's really important. And then he'll really tell you over what do you guys need to be closer to 657. What are your options? Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So we'll do that. And do you guys know how your credit is?
Yes. Great.
Okay, very good. So
Yeah.
that won't be a problem. So you'll have a lot of different programs. And he's gonna sit down with you guys, which is great, and look at how your income is, and also with you having the baby, just saying, is that gonna be a problem? How important is it that we get you into escrow before you stop working? Because if we need that income, that's something to look at. So just share with Scott your plans with
Okay.
that so that we can do a better job with that. Okay? Now, obviously, this is gonna be the first child, so that was important, excellent. And where do you guys work right now?
I'm an aerospace engineer.
Okay.
And I work for this company that does sub-assemblies for big.
And where's that located?
This is in Camarillo.
Oh, perfect. So that's why you want to be in the Camarillo. That's excellent. And what about you, Ollie?
I'm a physician.
You are? Okay.
Wow.
I knew you were the smart one in the group. Now, obviously, you guys are both very, okay. And so where do you work?
I work at Kaiser.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're going to take some time off and go back to work? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. And what do you guys like to do for fun and stuff?
I like to run, and I like to go to movies.
Cycling, we
Yeah.
have a tandem bicycle that we ride.
So who does all the work? Does he sit in the back and you do all?
I sit in the back.
Ah,
I
okay.
catch up on my text messages.
You shouldn't ride a bike and text at the same time. Okay, excellent. And again, some of these other questions I'm not going to ask. I think it's a little bit too much, so I'm just going to skip those. Okay. Now, we do like to stay in touch with you, and so that is important to us. How do you like us to communicate with you best?
Text is best for me.
Okay, you like texting?
Yeah, texting and email.
Okay, great. Again, a lot of times I'll text you and say, hey, when can we talk? Because there's certain things I would rather do it on the phone. You just can't really explain certain things always in a text. So when I know you're busy, you're at appointments and things like that, and then we can find time where we can actually sit down and talk, especially if we're negotiating something. I don't want to be texting back and forth. I want to pick up the phone and say, hey guys, or there's a great property. Hey, let me tell you how exciting this property is. By the time I text it and get it, I'm really about half the details. So is that okay that if we could talk from time to time
Sure.
Yeah,
and have that
of course,
personal
of course,
touch?
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. About our team, like I said, we're always, I'm gonna skip that since I've already did that. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the market. And we talked about this a little bit. Again, it is a tight market, and so things are always coming up. So in this market, we're gonna have to really get all pre-qualified upfront so that we're ready to go as soon as something comes in. And when we see a property that we really like, we're gonna have to write an offer on it pretty quickly, because if we wait and think about it 2 or 3 days, it's gonna be sold. Now I know, Shahar, you being an engineer, that may be a little challenging because you like to think about things and process. But if we take too much time on that, we're gonna lose a lot of properties. So I wanna make sure that we've done our homework now, we've checked out different neighborhoods, sort of the pricing, so that when properties come up, you guys are ready to move quickly, because that's the market.
Okay.
See, I don't want you guys to drive through the neighborhood a month later and see another family playing in the front yard. That would be a real shame. So we want to make sure we're pre-qualified up front, and when that right home comes up. And so in saying that, it's also important that we come in and write a strong offer, because as you've seen, they don't last. Homes sell within a week or two, okay? And so when that happens, there's no discount on this. It's usually, in this price point, we gotta pay that price or a little bit more. And so sometimes when I work with first-time home buyers, it's, oh, we wanna get a deal. And so usually one of the people on the team, the husband, says, let's go in a little bit lower and see what we can get, because I wanna get a deal. And after losing 2 or 3 properties, they then start to listen to us a little bit more and then make a stronger offer. Unfortunately, with you being pregnant, we don't have as much time.
Right.
We can't afford to waste, because there's not as many homes coming, and we don't want to be doing this in May or June or July, right? So, and what I always tell the clients, prices are still going up, and more importantly, interest rates are going up, so your costs are going up, and what you guys can afford is going down. So if we try and get too precise, we try to get a deal, we could actually be costing us money in 30 days when we end up getting a smaller house. So I don't want to have that happen. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you properties in this price point that are on the market right now, that are in escrow and sold in the last 60 days.
Okay.
So this way you guys can look at those, analyze those, and get a better feel for the market, so you'll really know what prices are going for. And so when we see a house that's a really good deal, we know we can just jump on it, write an offer right away, make a really strong offer, and wrap the property up.
Okay.
Then we'll do the inspections, and if anything comes up that we're not happy with, then we can always get you out.
Perfect.
But we got to do that afterwards, not beforehand, okay?
Okay.
Any questions on that, Shahar?
No, and just wanna understand we need to move fast, and I'm ready to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Get that baby a house, and that's the
Definitely.
house. Sure.
Perfect, and that's why it says here seller versus buyer market. Right now, it's, especially in this price point, it is very much a seller's market, okay? And as we know, the inventories are extremely low. If it's a good price, it doesn't last. But again, after you analyze the markets, you're gonna have a good understanding. And so if all was a house that needs a lot of work and should be priced around 6.25, and they put it on the market for $675, we're just gonna skip that house.
Okay.
I mean, we know that's not right, but if all of a sudden they put it on really fair price, and it had lots of nice upgrades, and they want to sell quickly also, and so it should be at $640, and they price it at $625, we need to go and get it right away. We can't go, oh, we'll come in at $6, because we'll be in a bidding war, and we won't get the house. Okay, so we're gonna make sure it's a fair offer for you guys, and it's something that you can afford. And normally what we're gonna look at is, if these payments work, would you pay that? Would you pay for this house? Would you pay, let's say we can only afford up to $2,800 a month, and we find you the house for $2,800 a month, would this house work for you? And if the payments work and everything, that's what we're looking for. Because like you said, Shahar, you're gonna be in this house for a while, and so $5,000, $10,000 is immaterial over the next 5, 10 years. Okay? Excellent. Okay, so we talked about our goals. We talked about the loan approval. So as soon as we leave here, I'm gonna send your information over to Scott Gilman and have him call you. If you guys could take care of that this weekend, he's really quick. He'll be able to tell us the range right away. And a lot of times he'll come back and say, hey, God, these guys are done a really good job. They can actually go up to 7.25. Like you said, you may not want to go up that high. And then we'll look at probably something more around the 650 range. And if something looks really nice, and we have to go a little higher, great, but at least we'll know what the range is. Okay? Now, negotiating strategies. When it's a tight market, we can't negotiate a lot, as I just mentioned. We're gonna have to write a stronger offer, and we're gonna find out up front what the sellers are really looking for. Okay? So if all of a sudden the sellers need to move really quickly, that may be an advantage. If the sellers need more time in the house, we're gonna have to sit down and look, how much do we love this home? And can we accommodate them with the baby coming in? But we're also gonna use the fact that you're having a baby to our advantage. I'm gonna have you guys write a nice letter for me, talking about how this is your first home and how much you love their home, and to be able to raise your family there, how exciting it is. And if they've been in the home a long time and raised their kids, they're gonna appreciate a young couple like you guys starting a family than some guy that's looking to rent it out or flip it. And that can give us a real advantage. So we're gonna use all of those things to our advantage. Okay? So we'll sit down with the information and together we'll figure out the best strategy. Okay? Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
No?
Perfect. So we got that. Like I said, time is of the essence. In this price point, we don't get to think about it. And in some cases, we'll write offers, see what we do. If we see 2 houses we like, we're gonna go ahead and write on both of them. Okay? And see which one we get. Okay? Because I can't afford to negotiate on one, because if we don't get it, we've lost the other one.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with what's going on both. We're gonna get a counter, and then we'll decide which one it is. We're not gonna tie them both up as we're deciding. That we won't do. But until we get it, we can then decide which way we're gonna go. So now we come over here and we're searching the MLS for listings. So we're gonna start sending you listings and put you on a drip system.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna have you go through what websites have you been looking on?
So,
Okay.
Zillow, Redfin.
Okay, so Zillow is the worst.
okay.
Because half the homes when you look are already sold and they have homes that aren't even on the market. I mean, you'll find things on Zillow and we'll go try it and they're not even on the market. So it's just highly inaccurate. So we're gonna put you on a drip system that we use and those are active homes. Because there's nothing more frustrating than these guys are marketing homes that are in escrow, but for backup offers and you're thinking, oh, this sounds so great, and then it's not available. So we don't want to do that. And it can take 1 to 3 days for some of these homes to come up on their listings. So ours has it instantaneously, and so you'll know exactly what's new. And really, if someone looks great, so we do something that I got from one of my buyer's agents, is we have a little contest, okay? Because we got to work together, as I mentioned. So you're gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. We're gonna see who can call the other one first about the property. Because I may be on an appointment and I'm not gonna, or you may be you could be still with the patient,
Right.
and so we gotta all work together because we gotta get you in first. And then I'm gonna say, okay, how quickly can we get it? Now sometimes I'll call up and they won't let us in for a couple of days. But we're gonna really explain that our client's pregnant and we gotta get this thing going, so is there any way we can get in, and if I can get you in a little bit earlier, I'm gonna use that to our advantage.
Right.
Also, once we know what areas we are looking at, I'm gonna talk to all the agents in our office. We have 250 agents here, so I'm gonna let them know that we got this great couple, they're expecting the first child. We're qualified by Scott Gilman, so they'll know that that means that it's gonna go through. And what do you have coming up in this area? If I found a property that wasn't on the market, you'd be okay with that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna do that. Now, the good news is, because our team does sell so many homes, agents call us and say, hey, I have this coming up, who do you have that's looking for a home over here? So we'll do that.
Okay.
There's also something called the TAM network, or Top Agent Network, that'd be the top 20%. And so we'll be looking in there for homes that aren't on the market, and so we can get those before someone come on the MLS. In fact, we're showing a client a house today that that's coming on the market. One of the agents pitched at yesterday's meeting, and we're getting them in at 2 o'clock today, just so that before it hits the MLS. So we'll do that, and so at that point, we need at least one of you to get off and go see it. If we like it, we'll put the offer in, and then we'll go get the other person to see it, because we want to get it wrapped up,
Right.
and then we can change our minds later. Any questions on that? Okay, excellent. Okay, so a little bit about the process. So we're gonna get you qualified, we're gonna start looking for homes, okay? Then we're gonna write a strong offer, we're gonna negotiate strategically, meaning based on the market will let us
Right.
know what we can do, okay? It's more important to get the property tied up. And then from there, we're gonna get the offer accepted, okay? And then we're gonna go open up escrow. So just make sure that those funds are available for us. So if you had to sell stock or something, or getting part of it as a gift,
Yes.
that we have the money in the account for that. That's
Now-
really
Now,
important.
if we decide to pull out, will we get the money back?
Yes.
Okay.
So when we talk about the contingencies, there's several things in there. And we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. In fact, you know what, why don't we talk about that now? Okay, so we have several different contingencies. The contract gives us 17 days to do our physical inspection contingency. In a tight market like this, we're gonna cut that down to 10 days, okay? Because we're gonna get the inspector in right away. We want, if it's not gonna work, we don't wanna wait that long. We wanna get the inspector in there in 3 or 4 days. If there's a problem, we wanna be out and looking at the next property. If something came up and said, oh, there may be a problem with the chimney, or there may be a problem with the sewer, and we need to bring someone else in, we can always get more time. Now, let's say we have 10 days, okay? This is active, so you don't lose that contingency until you remove the contingency. So on the 10th day, if we don't say, oh, this is a problem, now we've lost it, okay? So until you sign the form saying, I'm removing the contingency, you're protected. However, we don't have unlimited time. The seller can give us a notice to perform. And then we have 48 hours, not falling on a holiday or a weekend. So if it fell out on a Saturday or Sunday, we would have until midnight on Monday, and for us to remove it. If we do not sign off, they have the right to cancel, but they must give your money back. So they can't keep your money. So if we were just stalling out, not doing anything, they can move on to another client. Now, in most cases, they're not looking to do that because now they got to go through the whole process, do the inspections all over again themselves. So when we're showing good faith, we're getting the inspections, and we're being reasonable, and then they're going to work with us on it. Okay? So we'll be there to help you with that. Then we have a contingency for the appraisal, to make sure that the bank's going to come in and make sure that they think it's a fair value. So if all of a sudden the house is worth $580 and we get so excited and we go crazy and we offer $650, the bank could come back and say, hey guys, you guys are paying too much for this house. And then we'll have to decide what to do next, okay? And then the loan. We have 21 days to get the loan, but if there's a couple things at the end that haven't been finalized, we'll ask for an extension on that, because we want to make sure that everything's finalized on the loan and we get that done. Any questions on that?
When until what can we change our mind? So say if we, what stage here can we say, no, we want to change our mind?
Okay, there's no change your mind. However, as we have these contingencies, like for the physical inspection, we don't have to give them a reason for what we did.
Okay.
We didn't like the schools, we didn't like the neighborhood, there was this. We don't have to give a reason, so we can get out over that. We just can't say we changed our minds, because we don't have, there's no change your mind in real estate, okay? But we can work within those contingencies. So really, the termite really is the best one. If there happens to be an HOA, we have the right to review the HOA docs, the financials. That's another one that's pretty blanket. Based on the HOA, we're not happy.
Okay.
The loan is a little bit harder, because if you get the loan, you got the loan, and it looks like you guys are pretty well qualified, you have good jobs, good credit, so they're gonna get a loan, so it's kind of hard to say that the loan didn't go through. Now, if it doesn't appraise, that's a different story. Does that make sense? But again, this is where we're on the same side. So Shahar, if you're having some concerns or some questions, let me know before we move it, because then it makes it a lot harder. So as long as we're communicating regularly, and let me know, because I'm your advocate in this, that's what's important. Okay?
We trust you, we're in good hands.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, we're going to treat you, because we don't want to just sell you this house. We really want you to do a good job for you, so you tell your other friends that are having kids and want to get their first place. We'd love to work with them. We want to sell you your second and third home. We'd love to work with your parents and your family. So we're going to work really hard to earn that trust and to earn that relationship. And we can't be doing that if we're not protecting you. Okay? Excellent. We're going to go over all the paperwork with you and through the process, okay? Where there's going to be certain disclosures that the seller is going to give us about the property that we're going to look at. So if there was something in there, oh, by the way, we didn't tell you that when it rains, the backyard floods and we get water in the house. Well, that's kind of important. We're going to want to know about that. Oh, by the way, the air conditioning doesn't work. Well, no, we're paying this price because we expect the air conditioning to work. And then we'll talk about, do we negotiate a credit? What do we do? Now, it's interesting because I've had this happen before where all of a sudden maybe something does come up, okay? Before we just cancel it, we're going to go and look what else is on the market at that moment. And if we find another house that's a much better deal, great, I have no problem canceling it and finding another home. Because I remember one time a new house came on the market, oh, that looks better. We went and saw it, and after they saw the house, they loved their house even better. So we don't want to cancel until we know what we're doing. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. Any other questions on this?
No.
Okay, then we're gonna get the loan approval, then we're gonna do a final walkthrough at the very end. And that's not to find new stuff, but it's to make sure the house is in the same condition. So, so we're gonna do a physical inspection and we're gonna meet with the inspector through the process, and he's gonna walk us through, show us the house and tell us about the homes. That's really for us to get a good understanding for the home. And we're not looking for little things, like we walked in and we saw the carpet need to be replaced. We don't come in and say, oh, we're gonna ask them for the carpet, okay? We do things like that, then they're gonna get mad, they're gonna kick us out, and we're gonna get nothing. We're looking for big things, okay? So we're gonna look at the list, and we don't wanna make a laundry list, because sellers get mad and they give you less. We're gonna look at the bigger things that we really need to have and come up with it. Now, let's say it's a little bit older house, and there is some issues with the air conditioning. Well, we knew it didn't have a brand new air conditioning, so we probably aren't gonna ask them for a whole new air conditioning. Maybe we asked for them to split it. Now we got a new efficient air conditioning in it, which is much better. But if it was an older house with older air conditioning, we knew we were gonna have to do something a little down the road. We didn't expect to do it to move in, right?
Right.
Unless it was so cheap that we were gonna do that. But if that came out in the inspection, we'll come up with something that's fair to both sides.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that. So then when we do the final walkthrough, we're gonna make sure that they all the repairs have been done or we got a credit, and then we're gonna just make sure that nothing happened. Like we just had one that we closed at the end of the year, and as they were moving out, they actually the movers put a big hole in the wall. Okay, so we had them patch it up and it was fine. My clients were gonna paint, so it didn't matter. We went and looked, yeah, it was taken care of very nicely. Everyone was happy. But if there was a big hole, we're gonna come up with some type of credit so that you guys are protected there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's really what we're doing, and the best part, then we're gonna fund the property, you guys are gonna bring the money in, and the best part is we're gonna go ahead and give you the keys, and you guys are gonna get to move into your new home, and that's when we all get to celebrate. Okay, no alcohol, because all of you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
But after the baby, we go out and have a nice drink,
Yes.
okay? Any questions for me?
It's a lot of
Thank you.
information,
Yeah.
but I appreciate it.
Okay, so, there's some other pages, I'm not gonna go through everything, you can look at it a little more carefully, but I think I gave you a pretty good overview of the process, and then as we get into it, there's gonna be a lot of other questions that you guys are gonna have. So the first step is, we're gonna talk to Scott this
Yes.
evening, get everything together,
Yeah.
so that by Monday, we know exactly what we're looking for. Then, once he gives us the range, I'm gonna send you properties, some active, some recently closed, so we can get a feel for what neighborhoods we like. And then we're gonna actually go out and look at some houses, and look at some of the newer stuff, some of the older stuff, and sort of decide what is important to us. And then we'll go find you the right home.
I feel relieved.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I feel like we have a plan.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why it's important that we did sit together, because we do this all the time. But if you guys don't know what we do, it can get very nerve-wracking.
Yes, definitely.
Well, excellent. I'm really excited, and we always love first-time home buyers, because they're so excited when they finally get their first home, and we just really want to make that happen for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shahar?
Thank you.
Thank you.